When I was younger, I used to experience a lot of very severe and crippling anxiety, social anxiety. And I know why it was there. I'm not going to explain the reasons as to what it was that traumatized me in this video because boundaries are important. Um, However, it wasn't until recently that I arrived at a conclusion that allowed me to understand why things unfolded for me the way that they did and why I felt the way that I did, what it was that I was doing back then, and what it all meant. So, when we're younger, we are oftentimes tuning our energy into people in our environment to gain a sense of to to um to achieve a sense of safety, a sense of understanding and direction, right? However, oftentimes the people that we are tuning into are not healthy, stable, or safe. Their energy is chaotic, it is volatile, it is all over the place, it is unpredictable, and as a result of that, we learn that energy dynamic. And with that, we tend to seek based on that. The reason why this is so interesting is because what we learn early on in life tends to be the foundation for what it is that we seek and attract later on in life. And I've started to realize that the very reason why I had experienced so much anxiety growing up is because I was letting other people's energies affect me, right? So instead of recognizing that that's their shit and not mine, I would take on their energy unnecessarily, right? And then that would affect me, obviously, because I'm tuning. Like, you can approach people in different ways. I would argue in this case, two different ways. You can either recognize that you can express yourself how you wish to, and how other people react is their shit and not yours. Or you can think that you're responsible for everyone else's energy, which you're not. And you can be terrified of approaching them and expressing yourself because you're afraid of how they will react. And if you go about it that way, you're going to spend your entire life being afraid of what people will say, of expressing yourself to them, and you'll basically just be walking on eggshells. But the interesting thing is that if you recognize your boundaries, right? How it is that you choose to express yourself and that that is your boundary and that whatever anybody else has to say, think, or feel about it, that's on them. That's that's their shit, you know? So you don't have to, well, as long as you can recognize whether or not somebody is safe, healthy, and stable, that in and of itself will transform your experiences of life socially, right? And when you understand these differences in people, your your experiences of life will just be transformed. It's a very interesting dynamic. It really comes down to sitting with yourself and how you feel in different social situations. Um, your energy, your intuition doesn't lie to you. Whatever it is that you're feeling, it doesn't matter what anybody else has to say about it. What matters is that you're tuned in to what you're feeling. And I've actually had these experiences recently where I um I was honest and I was like, I don't feel I feel uncomfortable and unsafe right now. And I was bringing all of my awareness and my energy back to myself and into my body, and I was like, okay, yeah, I don't feel comfortable right now. I feel unsafe actually. And I was just honest with myself, and that completely transformed the entire dynamic. What matters is that we are honest with ourselves. That's really what matters. What matters is that we have the ability to tune back into ourselves, not worry about what the other person might think or say or feel or how they'll react, but just bringing all of our awareness and energy back to ourselves. That transforms the entire dynamic because then you're not tuning into the other person's energy and wondering, oh, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna say? What are they gonna feel? Like, no, that's their stuff. You're not I'm not responsible for that, and that completely transforms the entire dynamic. And when you practice that enough, you'll start to find yourself retracting. You'll start to find yourself um, pulling your energy back more and more because you'll realize that it's safe for you to tune back into your body and you don't need to worry about what everyone else is thinking, what they're going to say, how they're going to feel about it, and, how they'll react.